The Finalmouse Scream One, a mouse used by the headshot machine himself, a mouse that was hyped for its excellent performance and ergonomics but had a shaky launch due to some initial issues with the buttons. Now, with the arrival of the Scream One 2nd edition and some firmware updates to fix some concerns, many are wondering how it holds up today. This in-depth review will cover what I like and what I dislike about the mouse. Stay tuned to find out. The Finalmouse Scream One is a right-handed mouse with two side buttons on the left side, though the shape is ambidextrous in design and so it is relatively safe for all grip styles. It is similar in shape to the Razer DeathAdder in length and height, though it isn't as wide. Because of this, many people consider it to be a medium to large mouse, which I agree with. I have relatively big hands at 20 by 10.5 cm and can use palm, claw and fingertip grip comfortably with the Scream One. The shape and size do not impede on my range of motion like the DeathAdder and G403, as the ambidextrous shape and inward grooves on the sides leave plenty of wiggle room for my fingers. My preferred grip style is claw grip, and this mouse is perfect for me. The bump is towards the middle, but the wide back makes it easy to grip with the palm of my hand, especially due to the light weight. The mouse weighs just 79 grams without the cable, which is the lightest high-end optical mouse that I have used. I'm a huge fan. On the base, we have the mouse feet, which glide well. I probably would have preferred them to have rounded corners as opposed to angular, as that is generally smoother and can reduce scratching for some mouse pads, but it hasn't been a problem for me. The Scream One sensor is secured in place tightly, eliminating a risk of sensor rattle. There is a tiny bit of rattle with the scroll wheel, but it doesn't affect performance and you don't notice it while using the mouse. The mouse shell feels solid and sturdy and is well put together. It has a grippy plastic feel on the sides and a smooth rubberized feel on top. It has a 1.8 meter braided cable, which sadly is a little stiff. I always recommend the mouse bungee, and the Scream One is no different. The cable also has a gold-plated USB connector. By the way, if you are enjoying this review so far, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. I need your support to get this channel off the ground, and that would be really helpful, but only subscribe if you like what you see. The Scream One features 6 buttons, including the scroll wheel, left and right click, a DPI button, and 2 side buttons on the left side of the mouse. This mouse uses on-run switches rated at 20 million clicks. Here is a quick sound test. The left and right click are responsive, with little travel distance, and with very crisp feedback. They don't feel too light or too difficult to press in. The DPI button is the lightest button to press and provides soft feedback. It allows you to cycle through 4 DPI settings, which are 400, 800, 1600 and 3200 DPI. The side buttons feel great, providing soft feedback and not too much travel distance. The scroll wheel requires the most force to click and isn't too difficult or too light to press in. The scrolling isn't too loud and is quite smooth with distinctive steps. The Scream One's buttons and scroll wheel were previously under fire by much of the PC gaming community due to the left and right mouse buttons being too sensitive, as well as some ghosting problems with the buttons, and a tendency for the scroll wheel to register the wrong direction when scrolling too fast. Fortunately, I can say that most of these problems have now been fixed thanks to firmware updates. The scroll wheel is now fine and there is no ghosting. The left and right click can still be activated by hitting the mouse hard on the desk, but they are much less sensitive when compared to before. I've never had a problem with the left and right click activating by themselves unless I intentionally slam the mouse down with force, which to be honest is something I didn't like doing for the demonstration of this video. You really have to hit the mouse hard to make them activate by themselves, so I can't see this actually being a problem. Just be sure to update the firmware if you buy this mouse. Usually I would cover the software here, but the Finalmouse Scream One doesn't have any, and instead is plug and play. Though you can update the firmware via the Finalmouse website. The lack of software means you don't have the level of customization that you do with other mice. So that means you can't reprogram the buttons, there's no macros, no RGB, and no tweaking the sensor settings. Speaking of the sensor, the Scream One uses the 3360 Optical Sensor, which is technically the best sensor on the market right now, and it definitely feels like it. The sensor is the most responsive I have used so far, on par with the G403, because the G403 actually utilises a modified 3360 sensor. The specs claim a max tracking speed of over 6.35 meters per second or 250 inches. It holds up in acceleration tests whenever I carried them out, and the mouse has never spun out on me. It comes configured at 1000 Hz by default and has 50 Gs of acceleration. There is no surface tuning option, and you are limited to the 4 DPI settings that I mentioned earlier. There is also no option to adjust the lift-off distance. The lift-off distance is very low, as it doesn't even track on one DVD. All of my testing was done at 400 DPI and on a dark mousepad for best results. All in all, this is an excellent sensor, the best I've used so far. To conclude this review, the Finalmouse Scream One is a very good mouse, with a safe ergonomic shape, great build quality, great buttons, a light weight, and an excellent sensor. It doesn't have as much customization as other mice on the market, as it's intended to be a plug-and-play mouse, fine-tuned for performance. Personally, I'm a huge fan of it, and it's currently my main driver for competitive play and desktop use. If you require a mouse with RGB lighting, programmable buttons, and more DPI options, then perhaps you should look elsewhere. Otherwise, this could be the mouse for you. I hope this review has helped you. If you plan on buying this mouse and want to help support the channel, I have put Amazon links in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share this video with those who may be interested. This has been JoshTechBytes. Thank you for watching.